So I'm here at Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek in Orlando, Florida. Not too far, kind of maybe even considered on property with Walt Disney World. And now that we've been here a couple of times, I think it's now time for me to share with you our likes and dislikes. So coming right up, I'm going to share with you 12 of them. 12 things we like and dislike about this resort. All right, now I've come out here outside the property to talk about our very first like. I'm here on Chelonia Parkway, kind of on the sidewalk that runs up and down here through the Bonnet Creek Resort area. And our first like just happens to be the location. Not very far from here is where you'll find Walt Disney World. In fact, we're kind of almost on Walt Disney World property. You have to actually drive through Walt Disney World property to access this resort. So just up here behind me, well, short drive up here, you can get to Disney Springs, actually pretty close to Epcot and Hollywood Studios as well. And of course you have the whole network of roadways to get all around Walt Disney World. So a great location here at this resort. Okay, so now let's talk about like number 2, and that just happens to be the great walking path that goes all the way around the lake here at Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek. Great way to get around the resort. Kind of takes you to all of the different pools, the different restaurants that they have here available to you at this beautiful resort. Nice and wide. It's also quite busy most of the time. Of course, here early in the morning, there's really nobody out. But yeah, we really love the walking path that goes all the way around the resort. They even have kind of a couple of bridges. You can kind of see one maybe back there behind me, and then the one that I'm standing on right now. So fantastic feature at this resort, the great walking path all the way around the lake. So now let's talk about our next like here at Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek, and that just happens to be the great kind of theming around the property, especially here at the shipwreck pool. You can see behind me what looks like a shipwreck. They've done some really nice theming at this pool area here, as well as another pool area where they kind of have like a old fort. So really love this theming here at the property. It is actually kind of Disney-esque. You know, Disney has great theming at their properties, but this one here, much cheaper. You'll save a lot of money when staying here at Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek with this great theming. All right, now I'm here over top of one of the things that we love about Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek. It just happens to be like number 4, and that is 2 lazy rivers. It does kind of help spread out the people a little bit. You don't have one lazy river that is super crowded. You got 2 that are kind of semi-crowded instead. So yeah, 2 lazy rivers here on property, lots of pools. In fact, I believe there's 5 of them, or at least 5 pool areas. So great pools, great lazy rivers, 2 of them. Certainly what we like here at this resort. All right, now on to like number 5, and that just happens to be how big this resort is, but yet how compact it is as well. 6 towers, in fact, make up this property. A lot of units, a lot of individual villas, but yet it doesn't matter what building you might be in, you're not a very far walk from any of the pools, any of the lazy rivers, or even any of the restaurants that are really on site here at Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek. One thing I will point out, if you just happen to be in Tower 3, or maybe even Tower 2 that's behind me, the drive-in from the main entrance, it can be a little ways, and there's also a number of speed bumps along the way. But that's just one thing we love here about Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek. Small, compact, but yet still a good sized resort. All right, now as I move into our 6th and final like, and before getting into the dislikes, I'd really like to ask, if you're liking this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. It really does help with the videos, helps out the channel, helps to get this video out to more people looking to come to Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek. And now for our 6th like, that just happens to be how nice and clean this resort is. It is, of course, one of Club Wyndham's kind of flagship resort properties. Lots of units, lots of villas, plenty of people coming to this property, so they want to keep it in what seems like tip-top shape. In fact, I even saw them out kind of this morning, spraying down places along the walking path, the concrete, even the wooden boardwalk, kind of where birds had, you know, left their poop behind, and cleaning that off too. Don't want people stepping in that, and obviously chances for issues there too. So one of the things we really like about this property is clean and tidy. All right, I'm now over here near kind of one of the smaller pools to talk about our first dislike. And you think because this is a smaller pool, you think it's one of the more quiet pools, but unfortunately at this resort, they really don't have what they deem kind of a quiet pool, relaxation pool, serenity pool. because what I found is 2 of the pools have water slides. The other 2 actually have a lazy river associated with them. Then there's another pool, but it's rather small. You'd think it might be quiet too, but well, there's a small bar and restaurant there. So unfortunately, no kind of retreat away from the hustle and bustle of all of the pools here. You just want to relax poolside or even in the pool. I'm now out here again back on Chelonia Parkway to talk about our second dislike, and that just happens to be the location. You might be thinking, what is this idiot talking about? Didn't he say the location was great in the list of likes? Well, yes, I did, because it is close to Walt Disney World. If you're going to anywhere on Walt Disney World property, primarily visiting the parks there, well, this is a great location, but unfortunately it isn't really in walking distance or close to really much of anything else. If you're coming here, you pretty much need a car to get around, or you'll have to rely on Uber, Lyft, or other rideshare services. At check-in, they did mention that they used to have a shuttle, but it ended a couple of months ago. I guess the company that did it decided not to keep doing it, at least for this property. Not sure what happened there. They are working on trying to get another shuttle company in. But the shuttles that they did have, well, there is a fee for them. And, you know, shuttles, these types of properties, the schedules aren't all that convenient or regular, at least not like the transportation you'll find at a Walt Disney World property. So again, the location here is great for Walt Disney World, but not so great if you're wanting to visit the surrounding area, visit other restaurants off-site, outside of the gates of Walt Disney World. So, you know, there's some good things and some bad things about the location. All right, now before we head up to our villa to talk about some additional dislikes, I want to tell you about dislike number 3. And that just happens to be the buildings or the towers here. You actually need your room key to get in. Some people, they might actually see this as a security benefit or a plus, but we really don't like it. Kind of find it annoying carrying bags back, maybe groceries back. Just one person, well, you get to the door and then you realize, oh crap, I need my room key. So then you're digging for that to try and get it out so you can scan to get in the building. So just a bit of an annoyance there. Don't really like that we have to scan our room key just to get inside the building, because then we need it again also, of course, when we get to the room. So now let's head inside here, head upstairs, and we're gonna check out our villa, and I'm gonna tell you what we don't like in there. All right, I've now made it up here into our villa to talk about our next dislike, and that's dislike number 4, which just happens to be the tiny televisions. In the most of the villas that we stay at, Marriott, Westin, Sheraton's, the televisions are huge, and well, these ones just seem to be a little bit undersized for the room that they're in. Here we're in the living room, pretty big living room, but they have the TV over here kind of in the corner instead of straight on in front of the sofa. Bedroom, kind of the same way with a tiny television. I guess for the owners it might be okay because it might help save them a little bit on maintenance fees, but we're not too big on the tiny TVs here in the rooms. All right, I've moved now from the living room into the bedroom to talk about kind of dislike number 5, and that just happens to be the bedding in these rooms. Bedding seems kind of cheap, kind of thin. They don't use duvets and duvet covers. It's kind of just a sheet with a blanket and then another sheet. So sheet, blanket, sheet combination there, pretty thin. They do give you some spare bedding. There is a nice itchy brown blanket in the closet, but fortunately we're not too big on kind of the underwhelming bedding here. But a few nights where it was kind of chilly, maybe we should have turned the AC up a little bit. I'm now out here on our patio to talk about our last and 6th dislike. That just happens to be the balconies or the patios here at Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek. The problem with them that we have is that they do not have screens on them, so they're not screened in, and I've even noticed that the patio door does not have a sliding screen either. So that unfortunately means in those times when bugs are pretty prevalent, well, you're not going to be able to keep them out of your patio, and you can't even keep your patio door open without a fear of bugs getting in. Good thing is, we're actually here. Bugs aren't too bad, but I did notice when I closed the door last night, well, unfortunately, we did have a couple of bugs flying around in the room, so don't really like that here. It would have been nice if they had screened all these balconies in to keep the bugs out. But otherwise, the likes and dislikes here show this is still a fantastic resort. And if you like this video, you'll probably like this one here. It's a resort tour of Club Wyndham Bonnet Creek, so check that one out coming up next. Thanks for watching, and remember, until next time, the best destination, it's always a timeshare.